everyone, Alexis here. It's Tidbit Tuesday, and today I want to talk about the alignment for a posture called half moon or Ardha Chandrasana. This is one of those postures that, until you learn the correct alignment of it, I think you're kind of just wondering, is this right? Can this be right? It's one of those postures that feels a little bit more awkward until you get the hang of it or the energetics of it. And it's a posture that took me a really long time to understand and to actually enjoy. It took me years. So if it's not a posture you enjoy, I promise you you're not alone. So for Ardha Chandrasana or half moon, I won't get too complicated, but there are postures that are closed hip in yoga, traditionally closed hip postures like crescent lunge or warrior one. Our hips are square to the front of the mat. And then hip postures like warrior two, wide-legged forward fold. These are open hip postures. So half moon is an open hip posture. So once we come into it, I'm going to ideally want the whole front side of my body to face the long edge of my mat. So this is one I always encourage the use of blocks for all sorts of postures throughout the practice. I always practice with blocks, but this is one where blocks really, really come in handy. So remember that the block has three different heights. It has the lowest height, the medium height, the tall height. And traditionally for this one, I like to use the highest height, the tall height, because it gives a little bit more space in the body. And remember, in all of these postures, we're trying to create space in the body. So for half moon, traditionally we would start from, probably come into it from a warrior two. Okay? And then the teacher might do it differently, but it might be helpful to just take a little bit of a step forward with the back foot to shorten up the stance. One key is that when we're getting into the posture, we want to try to avoid dumping the weight down and then trying to lift up, because then I don't have a lot of space in the body. So the block will come, if you're using it, it comes out in front of the right foot, but then also, if my right foot is forward, but then also out to the right a little bit. Because ideally when I'm in the posture, I want my shoulder to be stacked over my wrist, which my hand is on the block. So you'll see that in a second. So I would start to shift my weight forward, and I would start to lift my back leg up. Okay? Now, it can be really challenging to get the hip all the way open. This is what I was talking about with open hip postures. So you're just working on peeling this left hip, this top hip back, and also the top shoulder back, so that ideally, one day, the whole front side of the body is facing toward the long edge of the mat, like this. Okay? Two questions that I get a lot. One is, what about this lifted leg? Should it be flexed or pointed? I'd say it depends on the lineage of yoga. Some will tell you to flex the foot and kick through the heel. Others will tell you to point the toe and shoot the energy out through the toes. That's really your call. I'll leave it to whichever one feels more comfortable. The other question I get is about this front foot. Ideally, and whenever I say ideally, I always use air quotes, because all of our bodies are built a little bit differently, not only skeletally, but depending on how tight we are and things like this, it just might not happen to ideally point your right toes all the way toward the front edge of the mat. So for a lot of us, we'll angle inward a little bit, and I'd say that's okay. You know, it's not what the posture might look like in some of the books, but we're trying to respect our bodies and what feels good. And eventually, with enough time, many of us are able to turn the toes forward, although mine are still the tiniest bit turned in, so don't worry about that if they are. So again, I'll demo it. You'll notice that when I come in, my right hand is stacked underneath my right shoulder, so the block's a little bit out to the side. I like to point through the toe, but again, that's your option. Top arm reaches up, so you can see that it's a super open posture rather than rotating the body downward and lifting up and out. If you feel like the balance is good enough, you can start to shift the weight away from the bottom hand, maybe bringing it to the heart. Okay. My obliques are engaged and on fire right now, so I'm not dumping into this right side of the body. Okay. So that is half moon. Hope you guys enjoyed the demo. Have a good one. Namaste.